Good morning, class. In the last class, we have started chapter number 14, that is water. As we have already studied, water is very important for us. It forms rains for us, which is very useful for us. It fills rivers, lakes, ponds, seas, and oceans, and all the water bodies. And water is present in ground, and even water is also present in air. And we have studied about the uses of water. Water is used in homes for drinking, bathing, cooking, washing. Water is also used in agriculture. Water is used in transportation through waterways. Through ship we transport various things. Water is used to keep engine cool. Water is used to generate electricity. Water is used in industries. Water is used in dispersal of seeds by water bodies. And we have also studied where do we get water from. We get water from rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, and spring. And melting of snow from sea mountains and glaciers adds water to these water bodies. And even rain also adds water to these water bodies. And we have studied rainwater is the purest form of natural water. Then we have studied about the place from where underground water comes out. And this place is called spring. Then we have studied that 2/3 of the earth is covered with water. And largest source of water on the earth are oceans. Although we cannot use ocean water on a large scale because it is salty, but it helps us by the process of water cycle. Then we have studied about the states of water. There are 3 states of water, that is ice, water, and water vapors, which can be converted from one form to another. Then we have studied about the disappearing trick of water, that is evaporation and transpiration. Then we have seen this activity practically in the last class, that the rate of evaporation is higher in the sunlight. The water which have kept in the sunlight evaporated at a higher rate as compared to the water kept in the shade. So the sun increases the rate of evaporation. There are many examples. As you get, if we want to dry our washed clothes and wet clothes, we put in sunlight so that the water can be evaporated and it gets dry faster. In the same way, it gets dry faster in front of any heat source, in front of angithi or heater. If you will place the clothes in front of angithi or heater, it will get dry quickly. So if we want to dry our clothes quickly, we have to place our clothes in the sunlight so that it can dry quickly. One more example of evaporation we have studied in the chapter 5, separation of substances. We have studied that if we want to separate salt from a salt water mixture, we have to boil the water, then the water will evaporate and salt will be separated. Salt will be left behind. That I will show you by the means of activity. As you can see that we have performed this activity, we have boiled this water on the flame. We have heated this water containing salt and water. This is a mixture of salt and water. And after heating, all the water is evaporated and salt is left behind. So in this way we can separate salt from the salt water mixture. This is before heating and this is after heating. This is after heating. This was a mixture before heating, and after heating it on the flame we get salt separated and all the water is evaporated. In the same way, the salt which we eat, that is separated from the sea water by this same method. By the evaporation of water, all the water is evaporated as water vapors and the salt is separated, and that salt we use to eat. Do you know when the sun shines brightly, then the water from all the water bodies such as rivers, lakes, ponds evaporated and form water vapor in the air. And there is one more process which adds a lot of water vapor in the air. It is called transpiration, which we have discussed earlier also. So transpiration is the process of loss of water by plants. Now I will explain you the activity given in your book. And this is the example of condensation The activity is tiny droplets of water on outer surface of glass. What happens when we take cold water out of the fridge and put some ice in it? Then due to condensation, the tiny droplets forms on the outer surface of glass. As you can see in this picture, tiny droplets are forming on the outer surface of glass. This happens because when the water vapor in the air comes in the contact with the cold surface of the glass, then the water vapor condenses to form tiny droplets of water. And this is the example of condensation. So due to the contact of water vapor in the air with cold surface of glass, it gets cooled and condensed to form tiny droplets on outer surface of glass. And the same happens when you take out the cold bottle from the fridge or the refrigerator. When you take out cold bottle, the tiny droplets of water formed on the outer surface of the bottle. This also happens due to the process of condensation. Because the water vapor in the air comes in the contact with the cold surface of the bottle, and that water vapor condenses to form water droplets. Now I will give you one more example of condensation. Formation of clouds is also the example of condensation. Now you understand how clouds are formed. What happens when the sun comes out and during the hot day, the water evaporates and rises from all the water bodies, from rivers, from ponds, from seas. And it is a property of that hot air rises up. So it goes up, and you know when the air goes up, it cooled up. As you go on mountains, you see that the air is cool in the mountains because mountains are situated on heights. So when the air goes up, it gets cooled down. So when it goes up and up, the cool air condenses, and it condenses to form tiny droplets of water. And when these tiny droplets of water condenses again, then they form large droplets, and from large droplets the clouds are formed. In this way the formation of clouds takes place. So formation of clouds takes place due to the process of condensation only. So this is also the example of condensation. One more example of condensation is there. You may have seen people, those who wear spectacles. What happens? Sometimes they breathe on the spectacles. Then the spectacle glasses become wet due to the water vapor present in the breath. Because those water vapor present in our breath condenses on the glasses to form tiny droplets of water. So this is also the example of condensation. I have already told you that process of formation of clouds is also the example of the process of condensation. As we see in the winters, tiny droplets of water are formed on the leaves, and these tiny droplets are known as dew. Whenever you walk in the grass in winter mornings, you see the grass is also wet. That happens due to the process of dew. And just now I have told you that water droplets condense on the surface of the glass when you put ice and cold water in it, as you can see in the picture also. And whenever you go to school in the cold winter mornings, you see the clouds like white cloud, in which the visibility becomes very less. So that white cloud is known as fog. The fog comes in the winter. That is also due to the process of condensation. So fog is also a thick white cloud-like thing near the ground, which reduces the visibility. And it is formed due to the condensation of tiny droplets of water suspended in the air near the ground. As I have already told you that due to the heat of the sun, the hot air rises up, and as it goes up and up, it becomes cooler. And when it goes at a height, the cool air condenses due to the process of condensation. And when the clouds become too heavy to hold the water, then the rain comes in the form of water droplets on the ground. And sometimes when the temperature is too low, then the rain freezes to form ice. And this rain or this snowfall happens in the rivers, ponds, oceans, seas. So this adds water to the groundwater also. So this water adds up in rivers, ponds, seas. And sometimes the snow comes in the form of balls, that is known as hail. And we have already told you that the water on the ground rises by the process of evaporation as well as transpiration. So whenever the rain comes, it adds water to all the water bodies, and whenever the snowfall comes, the snow on the mountains melts and it also adds to all the water bodies. The water is added in all the water bodies. And you know, land is situated above the level of the oceans. So all the water from the land, when the rain comes or the snowfall comes, all the water from the land comes back into the oceans, because rivers also adds water to the oceans. In this way, all the water is added to the rivers, ponds, lakes, and finally to oceans. So water comes back to the oceans. However, rainwater do not goes directly to oceans. The rainwater goes to land, rainwater goes to rivers and lakes. Then it goes to oceans. And water becomes available to the ground also, and some water seeps into the ground and it becomes available to us as underground water. And we can use this groundwater by tube wells, by digging wells, by installing hand pumps. So by digging wells, tube wells, and by installing hand pumps, we can use groundwater. So we can conclude that water which was actually taken away from rivers, lakes, ponds, oceans, and soil by evaporation and transpiration is finally put back into the river bodies only. And this happens over and over again by the process of water cycle in nature.